Hello. Today I am working on Best Choice Products Jeep. Have a back light bar that has 4 lights in it that I am going to put LEDs in because it does not come from the factory like that. I've actually done one already. Here it is. We've got a little pigtail out. Got the bar split. I'm going to run it and solder all 4 of them together and then run it up to a toggle switch. So here it is lit up, all 4 of them on. So I'm going to kind of go step by step on the wiring progress of this. I tried to put just one single strip in the back of this lamp. That did not work out well because it did not produce enough light. Because these lenses only have little tiny holes. So what I did is I have this IP67 rated strip light, 12 volt. You can see it's got the coating on it. And actually 3 of these lights line up perfectly with those holes. So the LEDs here, so it has 9 total LED. It's just real thin stuff I had laying around, and I cut this out, and then when I lay this on here, it'll tell me where I need to put my strips at. So I'll put 3 of them, and then this corner right here where the screw goes in, you kind of got to bend the wire onto the back side of it, and then there's a channel already built into these to be wired. And we'll start to get the template laid in when you put the lens back on. It lines up perfectly to the dots. So what we'll do is cut 3 equal pieces of this LED. This is a like a 6500K light, and we'll make up 3 of them and put this one together. All 3 cuts. Got 3 bits of wire cuts. Now I have to remove this coating off of here so I can make solder connections, and all I've been using is just a razor blade. You cut, but be careful because you can cut through the copper and make the strip not work anymore. If I knew this was going to be getting really wet after I make my solder connection, I would just use a glue gun to cover up the connection and then put heat shrink over it. But I'm just putting heat shrink over it because it shouldn't be getting that wet ever. Connecting's ready to be soldered. Got a little bit of flux paste on each one of the wires. I'm using a FX888D. Got set to 730 degrees. Need a new sponge. It's a little wore out. So I'm going to put a little solder on each one of these and go from there. Okay, I did all the other ones, but I was just going to show you. You got to clean your nozzle a little bit and get a little bit of solder on there, and then all you have to do is touch the pads. And this is just called tinning. It's just a process that makes it easier for when you're sticking wires together instead of trying to flow solder on your wire and your connection at the same time. So what I'll do now is I'll trim all my little pieces down to really short, and I'll do one right now. So I'll cut that, and if you notice, it's positive and negative. What I've been doing, that way all my wiring stays consistent, is running my positive with the line, and then that way I know that is my hot wire. And sometimes helping hands work. I can't really use them right this minute because I don't really have a good setup. I'm using the cell phone to shoot this video, so And there you go. Oh, there's one done. Alright, I got all 3 of them done. Now I'm going to strip the ends of this side of the wire and test each one individually, and then I will install it on my template here once I get heat shrink and make sure they are connected correctly. Okay, now that I've verified they're all working, what I did is twisted these together and then soldered them together. And then I did the same thing on this, and I've already put the lead on it. And make sure you put your heat shrink on before you do this, because if not, you'll have to desolder it and try again. So I'm going to try to do this without my helping hands, so I can do it underneath the camera right here. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to get my helping hand in here, and just holds the wire for you, makes it a little bit easier. And all you want to do is just touch them and get that nice shiny solder. And she's not wanting to cooperate. I got a decent solder connection, but not a good one. There we go. Alright, now got them all heat shrunk. So now is the kind of like a test fit. You have to get your wire set into that, and then you have to just tuck everything in. The hardest part is getting that that wire right here to go around the screw hole right here. So I just bend these down, make sure that one goes over to the side, and there we have it. So when you put your lens in, it'll push it down to the exact depth that you need. And there we go. You can see all the LEDs are right there. And you just repeat this process over and over. Here is the final product. As you can tell, they all line up pretty good, and adds just a little something to these pretty cool little battery operated cars. At the bar, there's a couple spots that are notched out already that you can run your wire in, but in the center it is solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to notch that out so I can pass my wires. So I'll start wiring 1, 2, 3, 4, and then run it down and through the vehicle. Alright, I fed the wire up through, made all my connections, so all 4 of them are hooked up at the same time. And I'm put a little glue in spaces to help hold it in place while I put my back on. That way none of the wires will get pinched. I still have to do these a little bit right here, but back should go on pretty easily. It's all open. It's all finished. There's a couple spots that are a little bit wider than what they should be, but I'm going to heat up my, I'm going to take my heat gun and heat it up a little bit so the plastic, or the glue and the plastic melt a little bit, and it'll go right back together. So here's what it looks like off, and here's what it looks like on. Very bright. I'm going to wire this up to 12 volt power and then put in a toggle switch. That way he can control these independently of the other lights. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like, maybe a follow, and maybe I'll do some more, because there's a bunch more lights on there that I want to do. Plus I'm going to run a dual battery, 12 volt, 12 amp hour. So I have to run a new charger for that. So we'll see what happens. Thanks. Bye.